True Santa Maria Style BBQ is put on a rod like this. They used to take the knuckles on the two ribs that cut it knuckles so that they could bend it over the rod and pull it down. They would put the one full on this, they would barbecue it, and then they would cut the bones off of the barbecue meat, and they would serve the bones separately, which most of the guys wanted the bones and not the meat, right, the meat middle. But anyway, it got so expensive that they went to top sirloin. Santa Maria Club, this was, oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago, but I was on the first crew that changed from the ribs to the top sirloin. Now the top block is what we use now, and this rod, you take the meat, you cut the tops in half. They weigh about, most of them are 9 to 13, 14 pounds. You cut them one time down the middle, you season them, and you take this rod and you pull this full part of the meat on first, you bend it over, you put the small part, and you come down the rod. Then you take the next one and put the fat on the other side and bring it down. Now the reason for that is so that the fat will, as you turn the meat, or as the meat's cooking, fat will keep the meat nice and moist. It won't dry out on you that way. That's true Santa Maria Style BBQ. I mean, they can advertise all they want about Santa Maria Style BBQ, but if it's not done on the rod, as far as I'm concerned, after all these years, it's not true Santa Maria Style BBQ. Now the tri-tip, people call it Santa Maria Style BBQ, but it came in later. It was originated in Santa Maria. The tri-tip used to be making a hamburger. It was not a real choice piece of meat. And then a local butcher here in town decided he had a little oven there, and he was trying to create business, so he would take the slice it, put it in this little oven that he had on the counter, and he'd use it for samples for his customer. So all of a sudden it took off, so he started cutting it and selling it, and right now it's nationally used everywhere. But people advertise it as Santa Maria Style BBQ, and it does come from Santa Maria, but is not the true Santa Maria Style BBQ, as I explained.
Was one of a gentleman here on this ranch by the name of Johnny Soto of the Soto family in Los Angeles, California. Dug a earthen pit, went down to the creek over here, cut willow sticks, 10, 12 feet long, and cut the bark off of them, and physically skewered the meat and bound it so that it wouldn't rotate when the rods were turned or the sticks were turned. Dug a pit, filled it full of oak wood, live oak wood. You never used white oak wood. Live oak wood, either the bark or the wood itself. Filled the pit, set it on fire, let it burn down to a bed of coals, and then the skewered sticks of barbecued meat, which were usually what we know today, top block, but they used almost every cut of meat off the animal. They were not very picky about what it was they barbecued, but mostly top round loin and top block, as we know it today. Put it over the fire, bed of coals, and barbecued it. And it was just as good as the barbecues that we know of today.
This is their sirloin. This is the loin end, the round end. What we want to do is, for barbecuing purposes, it's boneless. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pull this muscle away from the bone here. Just follow it around. top sirloin usually weighs anywhere on a animal that's broken down in the processing plants is about 10 to 14. 14 is a pretty large animal. This one right here is going to be about 10 pounds, smaller animal. Okay, now that's a rough cut of it right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just peel all this excess trimmings off of it, shape it up. Now when you buy them whole like this, they'll leave this gristle and stuff on. It's not good for the barbecue. We usually, when we're doing it for our customers, we'll take this first piece and just shave it off, because you can see all the heavy gristle in there. So we'll just go ahead and shave it off. We'll use this for stew meat, hamburger. Really cuts the size of your finished product down, but we're not selling this. This already belongs to somebody. They just want the best. Okay, this end right here, see how it comes down here? This is still part of the sirloin. This is what they call the baseball cut. You'll see a lot of this in supermarkets and stuff. They'll just take this, and it's just kind of just an oval shape. It's not like a baseball, but I don't know how it got its name, but they'll just go ahead and cut that off. But for a Santa Maria style barbecue, what they'll do, if this was going to be cooked for Santa Maria style, they'll just cut it in thirds. They'll just eyeball it, leaving the baseball cut on even. So they would cut it right here and here, and they're nice big thick pieces, usually about 2 inches thick. Being this is a smaller top sirloin, it's not going to be quite 2 inches thick. But when you buy a whole top block, this is what you're buying right here. It's actually 2 pieces of muscle groups here. You could pull this. This is called a lifter, a cap actually, a sirloin cap, excuse me. And you can actually separate this, and then it looks kind of like a tri-tip actually. But you could separate this piece. I can't do it because they don't want to do that. But then that would just leave just the heart of the sirloin, which is, I mean, if we were going to just cut steaks for you to barbecue at home by yourself, just for yourself, I would suggest we pull this cap off, trim this cap up. It's a good piece of meat too, and then just cut your steaks as thick as you want. You know, 1.25 inches is usually average. But that's pretty much it.
And meat in front of Carol and Larry is ready to go back on the fire, so it'll stay warm, and the waiters will come in and take it and serve it as soon as possible. You don't want to let barbecue beef get cold, because if you do it, it's just dried out. It's no flavor at all. So it must be served as warm as possible, right off the pit.
We want to expose the tri-tip. Now I'm actually getting really close to the tri-tip right here. Starting to get into it right now, right there. You can see that's the start of it, right there. We're just gonna we're gonna ride right alongside it. Try not to cut into it. Okay. Okay, now the tri-tip starts way up here, and it kind of hugs the sirloin tip and comes around, just touching. This is where the top sirloin's coming into. So what we're going to do is we're going to just score it right here. And there's a seam separating this muscle group from the sirloin tip. See what we're doing? It's going to pull away. See that? See how it pulls away? Now this piece of meat is only a big tri-tip. It's about 3.5 pounds. Being this animal is a little bit smaller than the average packing house animal, it's probably only going to be about 2.25. It's only one tri-tip per half. A lot of people think that an animal's just made out of pure tri-tip. You can just make them anywhere, but you can't. See how it's separating from the carcass? It's just got to get in there on that seam, and it'll pull right out. Okay, now what you're exposing here, that's part of your top sirloin, top block, right there. So this is, in the raw form, this is a tri-tip. Doesn't even look like one, but after you trim it up, you'll see what you're used to seeing in a butcher shop or supermarket. Oh, about 2.5 pounds. But that's it. It's one solid piece of muscle. There's no gristle going in here. That's why this is a popular cut of meat, besides size. It has a lot to do with size, because your average dinner party at a house is probably about couple of couples, you know, 4 to 6. This is a perfect size piece of meat. Easy to cook. So there's your tri-tip.
Jim is seasoning the tri-tip. He's getting ready to put it on the fire. All it is salt, pepper, and garlic salt. Spreads it over very evenly on the meat. And here again, you season your meat to your own taste. We do it this way to try to please everyone that's going to be eating with us today. In front of you, you have the ingredients of a Santa Maria Style BBQ. You have your bread, your macaroni salad, your beans, your green salad, and your salsa. Now, a lot of people like to make variations, but it's a must that you have the green salad, the beans, the salsa, and the bread. The macaroni salad could be changed to a vegetable or hot macaroni and cheese, whatever you want. Jim is bringing the tri-tip off of the screen, and he's going to come over and slice it for you. Isn't that a beautiful color? The color is terrific. It should taste as good as it looks. He's cutting it across grain because that's the way you do top sirloin and tri-tip. Beautiful job, Jim. Color is excellent. You can see that the meat is nice and red in the middle, and it's cooked a little more around the outside. That's the way the meat stays juicy and just very delectable.